of you, welcome to the one-shot revision class for salary chapter. Very important chapter and separate question is asked. Like business head and other source are combined, deductions are combined with capital gain, right? House property sometimes asked, sometimes not. But salary, definitely a question is going to be asked. 30 to 40% chances of getting questions on retirement benefit and 60% chances on getting all allowances, perquisites in default regime if you come out of default tax regime. Both we will check. Right? Now the whole salary chapter is divided into three parts. First of all, there are only three sections. Section 15, 16 and 17. Section 15 is the chargeability section. Employer and employee relationship is there. Employer is paying salary to the employee, then enter this head. Knock, knock, come inside. Section 16 are three minimalist deductions which are allowed, that too with lot of limitations in the gross salary. Okay. After this, section 17 is all perquisites. The benefits which are paid by employer to employee, maybe as reimbursement in cash or in kind, how they are taxable, right? So these are the areas, and weightage of this topic is 6 to 7 marks exclusive question and MCQ. Okay, right. So very important, and we will divide and study in three parts. First part, I will cover up all the retirement benefits. Second part, we will do all the allowances, and then we will do perquisites, and I'll show you how we have worked the combined problem. Recently, I've also posted a 1 minute snippet on pointers to remember for salary, and it got more than 2,600 views by students, lot of comments. That also I will again revise here. It's not just revision. In the one-shot revision, it's important to revise the concept, to link up the things, check the presentation, and get yourself very alert. Okay, this should not be the mistake. One of the common mistake in salary chapter is if it is a retirement problem, 10,000 salary per month, you're not supposed to multiply by 12. If it's the retirement problem and if the employee is retiring in December, 10,000 into 9. Ma'am, I did the whole problem correctly, but then the salary I have calculated by mistake for 12 months gone. There are some government limits to remember for MCQs. So let us quickly start. And last, if I forget, do remind me. वैसे लिखा है, printed है. But then also I'll tell you that in default tax regime, how is it? And if you come out of default tax regime, how it is, right? Now, employer, whatever it is giving to employee, that's all a part of the gross salary. Basic de do, dearness allowance, bonus, commission, perquisites, benefits in kind, employees' credit card bills, gardener, sweeper, watchman, anything given. ESOP, employee are getting shares of the company at subsidized rate. Anything given to employee by employer, they are part of gross salary subject to three deductions. Okay, so let me begin. There are few basic things also, dear students, they are very important. So the gist I would definitely like to discuss. This all I have told you. Gross salary less three deductions, and what you get is, you call it as your taxable salary. Okay, right. But when you are when you're talking about salary, your current employer, your previous employer, all the salary related is taxable here. Salary is taxable on due basis or receipt basis, whichever is earlier. Yeah. So if you have received 3-4 months advance salary, that is also taxable. Advance against the salary. Your salary is 10,000 and just 1 or 2,000 you have taken advance. That's not taxable. But suppose you receive 3-4 months advance salary, then salary which is due or receipt, whichever is earlier, is taxable. Arrears of salary. So arrears of salary क्या है देखो. Arrears of the salary is increase in the salary with retrospective effect. Very well taxable. There must be employer and employee relationship, right? There are two terms which are used in MCQs. One is foregoing of the salary. I'm receiving the salary, but then I'm saying to company, don't give me the salary, give it to my younger sister, and she's actually paying her education hostel expense out of that. I'm to not receiving salary. it's taxable. I'm trying to divert my income. But if genuinely I'm surrendering my salary under the central government voluntary surrender of salaries act, I'm surrendering my salary, it's not taxable, right? Okay. Then any salary and all perquisites, whatever they are paid to UNOs members and all, it's all exempt. Okay, now very important part, this we have discussed in income from other sources, and most important, I want all of you to write here TDS. See, if you are a full-time director, this is also a super one of my snippet. Again, too many views it has got. I give the gist like this so that you link up in your alert in exam. Suppose you are a managing director of a company, full-time you are working there and you are getting salary and remuneration received by an MD who is working full time in the company will be taxable under salary. Then TDS will be deducted under section 192. Now, if you are a freelancing director working in 5-6 companies, you get both sitting fees taxable and other source. You get the salary, managerial remuneration commission part time from all the companies where you are freelancing director. It's going to be taxable in income from business head. Okay, because it's your profession to be directors in 5-6 companies or might be other source. Then TDS will be deducted under 194J. And whenever managers, MDs get remuneration, directors get remuneration from the company in which TDS is deductible under 194J, 30,000 limit is not applicable. Generally, professional payment up to 30,000 exempt, above that taxable. But इसमें नहीं. ठीक है? Right. चलो. आ जाओ. So let us check this once again. If the director is full-time director, then it's going to be taxable here. If however he is not a director, the remuneration will be taxable as business income. Sitting fees received by the directors will always be taxable under other source as in how you receive the sitting fees, right? Okay. But when it is taxable under salary, तो फिर TDS कहाँ कटेगा 192 में full tax divide by 12. And when it is taxable under business at professional income, then under 194G. Okay? Right. If you have attended the practice batch, I have already made you write all this. Whenever working partner of the firm is receiving salary, it's not taxable under salary at all. Why? Because you are receiving salary not because there's employer-employee relationship, but you're working partner, okay, of a firm, then it's not taxable under the head salary. ठीक है? So working partner receiving salary, remuneration, commission from the firm is taxable under business head. And there we have seen also up to 6 lakhs nil and then, oh sorry, up to first 6 lakh 90% and then 60%. Honorarium received by the employee is always taxable under the source. Acha, DA se related, there's a very nice, and I have added this example also. You know, whatever DA you receive to meet up the extra cost of living and all, it's all taxable. DA received is fully taxable. Okay, right? But whenever they say that, say, DA received is 1,000 per month, it is taxable. But out of that, if they say 60% is considered for retirement benefit, then only 60% will be taken. The 60% will be taken for all definition of salary of HRA, RFA, all. I hope you are getting. DA, whatever is received by employee from employer, fully taxable. But if they say 1,000 received and bracket may 60% considered for retirement benefit, take only 600 per month for definition of salary. I have given all the definitions of salary and all the retirement benefit in a wonderful table ahead. Chalo. Place of accrual. All the salary which is paid from India is going to be taxable here. Even when the employee retires and if they receive pension, it's going to be taxable here. Except for the allowances and perquisites which are paid by Government of India outside India, they are exempt. Now, very limited deductions are allowed from salary chapter covered under section 16. And the first one is standard deduction. To meet up your gross salary, you must have incurred expense. But जैसे NAV में से we give 30% no in-house property. In the same way, standard deduction is 75,000 if you are filing your return in default tax regime, 50,000 in case if you are filing it in normal tax regime. ठीक है? Standard deduction is also allowed from the pension. From retirement benefit also, standard deduction is available. This deduction can be availed without submission of any proof. Ma'am, my actual expenses more or less doesn't matter. From the gross salary, 75,000 standard deduction you have to give in case of default tax regime. Okay? So many times they give salary, खास करके set off के chapter में. And they give computed. Wow. Computed means it's already netted off. No need to give standard deduction again. I'm repeating. 75,000 is standard deduction if you file your return in default tax regime. 50,000 in the normal. Next is entertainment allowance. Entertainment allowance, whatever the employee is receiving is taxable. But if he is a government employee, then he gets a deduction. That too, it's like peanuts. कोई काम का नहीं है. 5,000 or 1/5 or 20% of salary and actual entertainment allowance, whichever is lower, and salary is basic salary. Is this clear to all of you? Entertainment allowance may say only deduction allowed to the government employees 5,000 or 1/5 of salary or actual entertainment allowance. And next is profession tax. See, profession tax employee, everyone should pay, right? So if employee is paying the PT, he gets a deduction only if he is opting out of default tax regime. ये भी only if he is opting out of default tax regime. I'll tell you, नीचे table है. Now, if profession tax is paid by employer, then add it and again deduct it. Then amount so paid should be included in gross salary and then deduction can be claimed. Is this clear to all of you? Now check this table. I have made one more table like this in the end also, but this one is really nice. If you go for default tax regime, standard deduction is 75,000. Entertainment और ये तो मिलता ही नहीं PT. Only deduction allowed if you go in default tax regime is 75,000. If you opt out of default tax regime, then standard deduction is 50,000. Entertainment allowance is allowed, but only in case of government employee. And PT is also allowed. Clear? Right. So with these deductions, I have made you practice problems, but practice batch is over. This is for all of you. The purpose of one shot revision video is repetition. If you watch this lecture 2 times, maybe one time normal, one time high speed, another time, today only so many students have gone in the college to give their vivas and internals and they have been asked to wait for 1 hour till their turn comes. Then put your headphones and listen to this orally also. You will be able to recollect our class. Okay, right. And those who are listening to this, please go for practice batch. Invest for yourself 3,000 rupees. आपके जो DT के क्लास हैं, IDT के क्लास हैं, they are really conceptual, very clear, and you will follow and do quality good questions. Yeah, this material is nothing but this is our DT compiler. Yeah, both of the sets are there, DT as well as this is GSD. So this compiler you can order from the website www.cadiptichheda.com and we will deliver you, right? Okay. Next. Chalo, let us start with all retirement benefits. Okay, some fundas are important. Retirement benefits, if they are received during employment, fully taxable. Retirement benefit, I'm teaching you some exemption, but that's applicable when you retire and then you get that retirement benefit. What do you mean by retirement benefit? Like say gratuity. Thank you so much. You have worked in our organization for 17 years. So for each year, half month salary. 17 years, so 17 months or half. तो कितना आएगा 8.5 months salary will give you as gratuity lump sum. Recognize provident fund, you have contributed, I have contributed, now you are going bye bye, take your money. Pension, huh? So like this, all the retirement benefits which are given, they are given after the retirement, then they are exempt. And government limits are for lifetime. For example, the gratuity limit is 20 lakhs. Earlier, I have worked with someone 10 years. I took gratuity, 2 lakh exemption. Now, government limit of gratuity is 20 lakhs. But 2 lakh I took exemption, no? It's 18 lakhs now. Is this clear to all of you? So like this, government limits are for right time, lifetime, और ये जो retirement benefits है ना बिल्कुल taxable हैं पूरे if you receive it during employment. You have not retired and you start getting the gratuity and VRS and very well taxable. Okay, so these were the important pointers. Now check up this. Government employee receiving the gratuity fully exempt. If you are covered under the Payment of the Gratuity Act, then least of the three is exempt. If you are not covered, then least of three is exempt. In that first and third bit is same. Actual amount of gratuity received 20 lakhs, 20 lakhs. Here 15 days salary, but 15 by 26. When you are covered, the number of days you work is assumed to be 15 by 26. Huh? When you are not covered, then it is assumed 15 by 30. Are you all with me? Huh? So 15 days salary. Here, 15 by 26. Here it is 15 by 30. Comparison is clear or not? If you are covered under Payment of Gratuity Act, in a month they assume 26 days. That's why 15 by 26. Here 15 by 20, some books are also writing dear students as half. Here 15 days salary for each completed year and part thereof in excess of 6 months. So you are taking the fractions. 10 years and 7 months, 11 years ka salary de do, half month ka. 10 years and 5 months, 10 years. Here 10 years and 7 months also 10 years, 10 years and 5. So here they are ignoring the fraction. And here you are taking last salary drawn. Here you are taking average of the last 10 months, that too ignoring the last month. अब वो नीचे दिया है देखो. Here, note 1. Salary means salary last drawn, including all DA. Whether DA is covered or not, 1000 में 60% is covered, still here पूरा 1000 taxable होगा under Payment of Gratuity. Not covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act, then basic, DA 60%, commission only if it is based on turnover, not per month, right? And 10 months average salary you have to take excluding last month. If you're leaving my organization in February, तो February को छोड़ के January तक last 10 months. And all the government limits are for lifetime. Huh? Ma'am, if they are not clear, surely they'll give you they are covered under the Payment of Gratuity Act or not. Nothing given you right, it is not covered and assume and take it. If it is regular batch, then only retirement benefits we do 2-3 hours. Every problem in my compiler is solved with 2 options for practice. Covered hai to ye hai, not covered hai. The purpose is intentionally to give you comparative practice, right? Okay, covered and not covered, covered and not covered, covered and not covered, like that. But in exam, it will be very clear. Once again, I want orally. Usko chhod do. Actual gratuity received. Third is government limit. Now here, 15 by 26 days, half months. Here, 15 by 30. Here, completed years including fraction. Here, completed year ignored. Here it is last month's salary. Here it is average of 10 months excluding the last month. Here salary is basic and all DA. Here salary is basic, DA in terms of retirement benefit and commission. Is this clear to all of you? Right? Okay. So the least way gratuity is exempt under section 10(10). और government employees है तो पूरा exempt है. See, I've solved with both options. Both options, both. This is just for practice. बहुत अच्छे options हमने किए हैं. Shahrukh is not retired, but still he is receiving fully taxable. Shahrukh has received 2 lakh gratuity and he took exemption. Now 20 lakhs limit will become 18 lakhs. Superb clarity ke saath I have given all the questions. Next one is pension. The day you retire, you start getting monthly pension, which is called as uncommuted pension, and it is taxable for all government as well as non-government employees. Be very careful. You are retiring on 30th of November. December onwards, you will get monthly pension and standard deduction is allowed. But you got the pension in December and January. February, you said, sir, I don't want per month. You give me per month instead of 5,000, 1,000, 4,000, you give me lump sum. My daughter's wedding is there, health issues there. Are you getting? When you ask, when you convert your monthly pension, which you are going to receive for 5 years, into lump sum, and you are asking the company to pay lump sum, that is called as commuted pension. Commuted pension. Is this clear to all of you? देखो uncommuted pension is the monthly pension. It is taxable for all employees, including the government employee. Commuted pension is lump sum pension. Yeah, that is exempt for the government employees. Non-government employees. Are you receiving the gratuity? Then 1/3 of the pension is exempt. If you are not receiving the gratuity, then half of the pension is exempt. But which pension? 100% commuted. This will be clear with an example only. So better. Ye dekho. I want all of you to read. Ambani retires on 31st October. He gets 2,000 pension till October 24, which is our financial year 24-25. So we will see April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 months, 2,000 into 7 he was receiving. Right? Okay. Then he gets 60% of the pension commuted. So 2,000 ka 2,000 ka 60% of the pension commuted. Okay. When did he get it commuted? 1st November. But still 40% is receiving per month. No, he's saying to company, sir, you have paid me 2,000 per month. No, 60% I want to encash. But 40% of 2,000, 800 to he is receiving na November, December, January, February, March, 5 months. Only this much is asked in MCQ. That's why I'm taking example. Beautiful comparative way I have given here. Exam में कोई एक ही करोगे आप. 2,000 I was receiving from April to October. November onwards only 800 because remaining 60% I encashed. How much is my commuted pension? 30,000 60%. तो 100% कितना? या 30,000 60% तो 100% कितना? 50,000. Now if I am receiving the gratuity, 1/3 is exempt, not of 30,000, 1/3 of 100% pension, 50,000. Are you all with me? Same way. 30,000 pension is, it will take time to understand. I hope this is a one-shot revision video. Still, I'm going little in detail. है ना? 30,000 is 60%, 100% kitna? Okay. So 60% is 30,000, 100% is 50. 50,000 is half because gratuity is not received. बात ही खत्म. Gratuity मिला तो 1/3, gratuity नहीं मिला तो half, but not of what you receive, it's of 100%. ठीक है? Okay. So this is all about pension. Gist is uncommuted monthly pension is taxable for all, but not for 12 months, the time when you receive. And when you encash part, remaining will be still received monthly. And when you encash commuted for government employees to exempt here, for non-government employees, ठीक है? If they receive the gratuity, 1/3 is exempt. If they don't receive, half is exempt. ये हो गया pension. Now let us talk about leave salary section 10AA. When the employee work in organization, they get some leaves which are paid, which are accumulated. So when he is leaving the organization, you have to check non-government employees. Government employees getting leave salary under section 10 AA fully exempt. Non-government employees, yeah, cash equivalent at the leave of the credit on the basis of last 10 months salary. Okay. So leave allowed is 30 days per. Ma'am, but my company is allowing 45 days leave per year, 60 days per year. Aapki marzi. Your company is very happy with you. Let it be. We will allow 30 days per year, ignore fraction. So 30 days and you have worked for 10 years. So 300 days leave is accumulated. Or you can call it 30 days leave, 10 years, month wise if you do 10 months. Now, actual leave availed. You can avail the leave as per 30 days, 45 days, whatever. Say actual leave availed is 240 days. Still, how much is that credit which you want to encash and take home by 60 days? Are you getting? This is a superb format so that you will never go wrong in exam. So many of my students are now working as a teacher in degree colleges या कोई और private institute में पढ़ा रहे. They tell me they are still referring this method for conceptual revision. Huh? So you also do it for exam. Leave allowed as per 30 days. Less leave availed. Balance leave at credit. Ma'am, if leave allowed is 25 days, then take 25 days, but not more than 30 days. उसके ऊपर तो नहीं allow करोगे. So leave allowed, less leave availed, balance leave at credit. 10 months average salary. Government limit of leave salary is 25 lakhs and leave in cash. Least of this you will take. Salary is equal to basic plus DA plus commission. ठीक है. Even if you have received leave salary from two employees, government limit is maximum for the lifetime. For this, wonderful questions are solved. Study material में भी हैं इस type के question, manual में भी मिलेंगे. Next one is retrenchment compensation. Now the next two formulas are fixed. When I'm asking the employee to go before his work is age is over, so 5 lakhs, 15 by 26 into average of the last 3 months into the completed year and part thereof. 15 by 26 into the average of the last 3 months into completed year of service and part thereof in excess of the 6 months or actual amount received. Government limit for retrenchment is 5 lakhs, for gratuity 20 lakhs, for leave salary 25 lakhs, for pension no limit. There is no government limit in pension. Okay, retrenchment compensation is 5 lakh 15 by 26 average of the last 3 months into completed years or part thereof and actual amount received. Definition of salary is same, basic DA commission. VRS. Employer gets 1/5 deduction for the VRS paid. This is from the point of view of employee. Huh? VRS means his age is 60 to be retired. 58 only he is voluntary going out. So last salary drawn into 3 into completed years. Last salary drawn into remaining months. यहाँ पे average salary you have taken of 3 months. Fraction भी लिया है, यहाँ fraction is to be ignored. Last salary drawn into 3 into completed years. ये अब थोड़ा learning करना हो. Last salary drawn into remaining months, 5 lakh. Completed years and remaining months, 5 lakh and actual compensation. One concept, one question. Are you getting? One concept, one question. Leave salary, uske question. VRS, uske question. And then I have solved this. I can't take all in detail now, but these are combined problems. Whenever they ask you gratuity, leave salary, all, your main answer should look beautiful. Gratuity received exempt, working note. Leave salary received exempt, working note. And gross salary and standard deduction and all. See, always they will ask like this person getting salary and he has a textile business loss. Can he set off? No. We are in salary chapter, but 1 and 3 are not friends. Who is 1 salary head? Who is 3 business head? You can never set off your business loss in salary. Acha man, business loss cannot be set off in salary. Salary loss can be set off in business. Salary में loss ही नहीं आएगा. Gross salary is there. Your deduction, standard deduction is limited to gross salary. And then PT and all limited only all. So no question of getting loss in the salary chapter. Set off, I'm really saying I have given just in 30 minutes best of the this revision. Okay. Do check it, and so many of the students are also using it for their BCom exam. तो बिल्कुल रेफर करो आप, शेयर करो और लोगों से. At least this lecture and my level of energy, if you're feeling, then like, share, subscribe, comment. Yeah, this compiler is really made with lot of efforts. Taxability of the provident fund. Now there are 4 types of provident fund. PPF I have just given because I am talking about all. But in PPF, employer cannot contribute. Interest and all is exempt. An employee himself can contribute for self, spouse, and children up to 1,50,000. So frankly speaking of millions. Now these 3. Statutory provident fund is exempt. ATC deduction will be allowed. Interest is exempt. Lump sum received from statutory provident fund is PF Act 1952 exempt. Recognized provident fund is your own PF Act, but you have got it approved with the Commissioner of Income Tax. Employers contribution, ये 2 ही एग्जाम में ज्यादा पूछते हैं, and खास करके ये तो that's why I've given it in bold. Recognized provident fund. Employer can contribute up to 12% of the salary, that's basic DA and commission. Above that, it will be taxable. Now in exam, you know what they are giving? Employer can contribute 18% of the salary. Employer is contributing 18% of the basic salary. ध्यान से देखो, बहुत ध्यान से. Pay attention, all of you. Employer has contributed 18% of the basic salary. Employee can contribute 12%, different 6%. ऐसा नहीं है. It's not like that. Employer has contributed 18% of basic salary or 36%, his wish. Deduction allowed is 12% of basic, DA and commission. Clear? ATC deduction is allowed. Interest is exempt up to 9.5%. But your employer is very happy with you. He's paying you 13% interest. So 13 minus 9.5 is taxable. Lump sum is exempt. RPF lump sum is exempt unless you retire before 5 years. Then whatever you receive is taxable or TDS भी deduct होता है फिर तो. Unrecognized provident fund. Your own unapproved private fund. Can employer contributes to that? Abhi to exempt. Deduction not allowed because it's uneligible. Interest abhi to exempt. It's like, you know, something very difficult to digest when you receive on maturity employee's own contribution. Employee also contributed to URPF and employee contributed 1 lakh. With interest, it received 1,10,000. So if the employee is contributing 1 lakh, it's exempt. Interest on employee's contribution is taxable in income from other source. Are you all with me? Huh? Employee's own contribution 1 lakh, so I have put and I have got back. Exempt. Interest on that is taxable under other source. And my employer has also contributed 1 lakh and interest on there is 10,000. That will be taxable under salary as profit in lieu of salary. Ek saath. Everything received lump sum. Unrecognized provident fund. Payment received in respect of employee's own contribution, exempt. Interest there on other source. Employer's contribution and interest profiting. So this is how. And left to right, if you check, interest on SPF and PPF is exempt, URPF is exempt, then taxable. Interest up to 9.5%. On maturity, all these three are exempt. Only unrecognized provident fund becomes taxable. Very nice way I have given treatment. This, if you go for compiler, you can look. Now we have done PF, so PF से related ही questions हैं ये पूरे. These are all the questions. See, employer has contributed 20% of basic, but deduction allowed is basic and DA and commission. Got it? Okay. 10, 11 and 12, 10, 12. If you want to study in detail, I don't think at inter level it's required. Only the gist is important. If you go in detail, proportionate and all, it's like 1 hour lecture and itna portion hai DT ID ka. As a teacher, I'm only saying miss it. No problem. Just remember the gist where employer is contributing, then interest on employees' contribution in excess of 2,50,000 will not be exempt, it will become taxable. Employer is contributing, no? So employee will contribute 250, no problem. Beyond that, whatever employee are contributing, interest will be taxable even if it is SPF or RPF. If employer is not contributing, interest on employees contribution up to 5 lakh will be 5 lakh or uska interest exempted, but you have contributed 8 lakh, so remaining 3 lakhs interest will be taxable. I have given one example. Superannuation fund, it is, if it is approved, employer can contribute and claim exemption up to 1,50,000 and 80 CMA deduction bhi milta hai. Now one new limit is added, very important. In recognized provident fund, you can contribute up to 12%. 80 CCD NPS आएगा अभी आके, National Pension Scheme. 10% of central government है तो 14% employer can contribute to the National Pension Scheme. He can contribute to RPF 12.5%. Employer can contribute to superannuation fund 1,50,000. But all this put together also, upper limit should not exceed 7,50,000. If it exceeds 7,50,000, the remaining will become civil. I'm repeating. Recognized provident fund, employer can contribute 12%. Beyond that, it's taxable. 80 CCD, employer can contribute National Pension Scheme at 10%. If your employer is central government, 14%. Superannuation fund 150. But तीनों मिला के भी 7,50,000. Okay, right. This we have already done in the deductions also, but still because it's relevant, important amendment in salary. And abhi the January exam they asked amendment in the GST. वो exemption में एक नया ऐड हुआ था टोल का, built, operate, model and also they simply asked 5 marks question. Like that Agniveer Corpus Fund, I'll tell you the gist. Who is the employer of army? Army people are employed. So who is your employer? Central government. Central government is contributing to Agniveer. You are also contributing to Agniveer. Now both of this are exempt on maturity when you receive the lump sum. But whatever central government and the employee are contributing, you will get a deduction. The central government, whatever is contributing to the Agniveer Corpus Fund, it's taxable. Employees' own contribution, if they contribute, not taxable. And deduction is allowed subject to some limit. Let me read it, it will be clear for all of you. Agniveer is central government, is the employer. Agniveer deduction is allowed. And on maturity amount is received. Yeah. 80 CCH1. Individual's own contribution deduction is available only if he is shifting out of default tax regime. Employee का खुद का contribution. Employer, central government's contribution to Agniveer Corpus Fund deduction is available in 80 CCD H2 in both the regime. Whether you go for default tax regime or not, it is allowed. ठीक है 80 CCH1. Individual's deduction is allowed only if you opt out of default tax regime. Both are allowed. Hmm. Chalo, now let us do all the, yeah, whatever employer is contributing, that will first be added in the salary and then you will get a deduction. Now, there are some allowances which are fully taxable, like entertainment, DA. This is simple list you can read. There are few exemption allowances which are completely exempt. High Court, Supreme Court judges, or allowances which are paid to UNOs outside India, under 10(7), they are all exempt. Now, some exemptions are there where part deduction is allowed. The first one is HRA, only in case of default, if you opt out of default tax regime. In default tax regime, HRA is not allowed. Okay? So when you opt out of default tax regime, and if your company is giving you fixed, you know what is allowances and perquisites basic difference? We are giving you fixed HRA. Then you stay in your own house, or you stay in a paying guest house, or you stay in your father's house. You are getting fixed allowances. They are taxable. Medical allowance fixed, फिर आप बीमार पड़ो या ना पड़ो, your expenses more or less. Perquisites are, we are reimbursing your actual expense, or we are giving you something in kind, companies, bike, and all that. Chalo, first we will do HRA. Hmm. So let us see now about HRA. Is my speed fine? This is a revision video. I can't pause much. Still, if you have any doubt, ask, and do comment below if you are following. Why there is so much of conjugacy in commenting? Ma'am, it was not very clear. It was very clear. The speed was good. The concepts were in depth and clear. Whatever you like about it, keep commenting. No. Hmm. Sure. House rent allowance. Rent paid minus 10% of salary. Now, see, if you are not paying rent, you are staying in your father's house, this is only zero. So, obviously, the deduction will be least of the three nil. Rent paid minus 10% of salary. If the accommodation is in the metro, then 50%, or else 40% of the salary, and actual HRA. Least is exempt. Now, definition of salary is basic, DA in terms of retirement benefit, and commission as a percentage of turn. Now, for this very nice questions we have solved in class, I have given you one homework also. Huh. Now, special announces, too many are there. Out of that, important ones you have to remember. This is allowed in both regime. These two are allowed only if you opt out of default tax regime. Children education allowance, if the company is giving, then exempt under section 1014 is 100 per month per child, maximum up to two children. Hostel expenditure 300 per month per child, maximum up to two children. Transport allowance 3,200 per person who is handicapped per month, per blind or handicapped with disability. Huh? So transport allowance, if the company is giving, it's exempt up to 3,200. But if a person is blind or handicapped or disabled, he has to get a certificate from government hospital. How much is children education allowance exempt? 100. Hostel 300. These two are not allowed in case of default tax regime. This is allowed in case of both. I've given a separate comparative table for this. Okay. Right. Now there's a rule 2BB. This says so many times you receive uniform allowance 40,000 and you actually spend it to buy uniform. So you get traveling allowance and you actually travel for the company. So whenever any allowances are granted and if they are spending for official purpose, that part is exempt. This is a superb question on practice of all the allowances. Okay. 2 minutes. Now we are going towards purposites. So here we have finished all the allowances, which was really small, also retirement benefit. Now we are going to perquisites. There are some perquisites which are exempt. Okay, I want to read out this list because out of this, so many are asked in exam, and when I correct the papers, chapter wise exams you all are writing. वहां जब हम paper correct करते हैं, तो 8 में से 5 मिलते हैं because some are correct, some are not correct. Huh? Right? So very important. Perquisites. Perquisites denote something that benefits all in pocket and all. ठीक है चलो वो definition और छोड़ दो. What are the perquisites which are completely exempt? Telephone provided by employer at employee's home, goods which are given to employee at concessional rate, transport facility, recreation club and all during office hours. Um, Rent-free accommodation is exempt only for High Court, Supreme Court judges, otherwise taxable. Medical facility up to a limit, we'll see. Tea, coffee, snacks, free meals are exempt only if they are working in remote area. Otherwise, free meals are exempt up to 50 per meal, uske beyond taxable hai. Perquisites which are provided by government to citizen outside India. Allowances and perquisites provided outside India by central government exempt. Some payable by employer to RPF and approved fund and all if they are exempt. Leave travel concession. Oh, I think I missed out this leave travel concession. Piche. I'll take it little later. We पढ़ लेते हैं. Leave travel concession. You travel anywhere to hometown with your family. It is exempt. Employers contribution to staff insurance, group insurance. नीचे मैंने दिया है. Personal accident policy, Mediclaim. You know, employer they take group health policies for employee, and for that premium is paid by employer, exempt. But if employer is paying life insurance premium for employee, taxable. Huh? Other than this annuity, life or annuity policy premium paid by employer will be taxable. ठीक है? हाँ, बीच में जो छूट गए हैं वो कर लेते हैं. Personal accident policy and all they are exempt. Free education is exempt in the school maintained by employer and up to 1,000 per month. Beyond 1,000, fully taxable. So if employer is giving to employees children school benefit in the form of perquisite 1,200 पूरा taxable हो जाएगा. Concessional loan to employee up to 20,000, no problem. Beyond that, you have to check the SBI rate. अभी आगे करेंगे. This one is asked in every exam. See, if you're working in corporates, the company is giving you computers, desktop, laptops, yeah, for use, then it is exempt. Laptop, computer given, not transferred to employee for official personal use, exempt. And if any movable asset is transferred to employee after a period of 10 years, 10 years के बाद asset की value क्या है? Traveling facility to employees of railways and airlines. Those who are working in airlines, their family member can travel for free and all, they get all exempt. To and fro journey, periodicals, journals. Basically, I've read the list in detail. You should read. Before I go to further perquisites, I don't know how I missed leave travel concession. Before we go to the allowances, so I'll take that once. Leave travel concession. Types of PF तो I discussed. कहाँ गया फिर leave travel? Oops, आगे होगा. It's a part of the perquisites. No, I didn't miss it. How is the Josh? Easy, all clear. Good, chalo. Screen sharing stopped. What happened? अरे Yeah. Perquisites I've told you which are exempt. Now, if perquisites are taxable, how much it should be taxable? Like leave travel assistance. Okay. In a block of calendar year, here there is no financial year but calendar year 23 to 26. मतलब January 23 to December 26 पूरा 4 years में you can travel anywhere with your children to your hometown or any place in India, and your flight tickets economy class exempt, train first class AC exempt, any recognized transport like deluxe class Volvo buses and all exempt. But maximum amount of exemption is the cost of travel, and actual expenditure should not, and with whom you can travel, spouse, children, dependent parents, brothers, sisters. So twice you can travel anywhere in India. But now, here, when it is coming to children, how they are calculating children is children born out of multiple birth, twins. First, single child, then twins. सबके लिए एग्जेम्पशन मिलेगा. फर्स्ट सिंगल है, फिर ट्विंस है. पता नहीं था ना सेकंड में ट्विंस होंगे कि नहीं. आई डोंट नो. I'm just saying because this point is asked in exam and I don't want you to lose marks. आप past exam के paper देख लो. First only twins. So two children are over, third child का ticket will be taxable. First child single, then twins, all the three is allowed. First child only twins, then third child. Exemption for only first two will be allowed. ठीक है? So this one example also I have solved. Medical facility limited is exempt. What is that limited? Any treatment in hospital either maintained by employer or government hospital, or any prescribed diseases, leprosy, HIV, cancer, or group insurance paid by employer, or medical treatment, travel and stay abroad for employee and one patient as allowed with RBI. But this is exempt. Ma'am, what about the medical treatment in the private hospital? It's taxable. Medical treatment in the hospital maintained by the employer or government hospital exempt. Prescribed disease exempt. Group insurance paid by employer exempt. And medical treatment abroad, travel and stay with patient and one attendant. हाँ ठीक है. That's exempt as per the RBI. उसी से related this question is there and same has come in exam twice. COVID related any payment made by employer to employee up to actual expense fine. But if actual expense is 250 and employer has reimbursed 3 lakh, it will be 50,000 will be taxed. Now, most important part is employer is not giving HRA, house rent allowance to employee, but they are giving rent free accommodation. Rent free accommodation. ठीक है? Now, what is this rent free accommodation? Employer might ask employee to stay in the accommodation which is maintained by employer. Employer का खुद का है, or employer might also have taken it on rent. Now see, is this taxable if employee is getting free accommodation from employer? Yeah. How to bring it in money terms? For government employee, it's different. Now, for non-government employees, if the population exceeds 40 lakhs, 10% of the salary. If the house is owned by employer is having own house and employee is given free, you stay over there, then 10% of salary. If house is owned, not owned by employer, employer is also paying rent of the house, then rent paid or 10% of salary, whichever is lower. But your salary is basic. Biggest definition of salary is for RFA. Basic, DA, bonus, commission, fees, other taxable allowance. Are you all with me? Check the definition of salary. फिर से एक बार, व्हाट इज डेफिनेशन ऑफ सैलरी अंटिल नाउ एवरीवेयर? क्या गाना बजना चाहिए? बेसिक, डीए इन टर्म्स ऑफ रिटायरमेंट एंड कमीशन. नाउ बेसिक, डीए, बोनस, कमीशन, फीस, ऑल अदर टैक्सेबल अलाउंसेस. ठीक है, राइट. If house is owned by employer, then 10% of salary. If house is not owned by employer, then 10% of the salary, or rent paid by the company, whichever is lower. Okay. If accommodation is in a hotel, when some employees are shifting from Hyderabad to say Lucknow, so up to 15 days they can stay in a hotel. Beyond that, if the hotel bill is paid by your employer, 24% of the salary or the hotel charge is paid, whichever is lower will be taxable. Now for population, up to 15 lakhs, 5% of salary. 15 to 40 lakhs, 7.5%. Above 40 lakhs, 10% of the salary. Is this clear to all of you? And for furniture, 10% of the cost of the furniture or rent payable. Whichever is lower nahi hai. See, if the employer is giving you accommodation, along with that he is giving you furniture, then like depreciation, 10% of the cost of the furniture you bear it. Okay? Or rent payable if the employer has taken it on rent. Definition of salary is basic, DA, bonus, commission, fees, taxable allowance. What do you mean by taxable allowance? Children education allowance is 300. 100 is exempt. 200 into 2 into 12 is taxable. Na, wo wala part. However, it will not include DA unless it enters the retirement benefit, employees contribution to PF account. Allowances which are exempt, requisite. I'll tell you the gist how to remember. For rent-free accommodation, look here. It's very important to work out problems. And please remember this tip I have given, the pitfalls to avoid in salary mein maine bola hai, even if they give RFA first, don't take it first. Because for RFA, you need all the definition of salary. So you always calculate it last. What is it? RFA's definition of salary? See, basic, DA, commission, bonus, fees, and taxable allowances. Khatam. Don't take exempt part of allowances, don't take perquisites, don't take taxable PF. Huh? You remember? PF is exempt up to 12%, you contributed 15%. वो भी नहीं लेंगे. Now 10% of the salary is taxable. And for furniture also cost 10% of the cost. WDV they'll give you to confuse 10% of the cost. Furniture taken on rent, the rent of the furniture. If employer has also taken the house on rent and given to you, then 10% of salary or rent paid by employer, whichever is lower. Is this clear to all of you? हाँ ठीक है चलो. So this is all about your rent-free accommodation. Yeah, sometimes you calculate as if it's absolutely free. Rent-free accommodation, 10% of salary, furniture ka itna, iska itna, and then from employee 500 we are charging. So reduce it, you will get the rent-free accommodation at concessional rate. See, if it is absolutely free, then 10% of salary and rent and all that is taxable. But if anything I'm recovering from employee, reduce it. Simple. कर लो. देखो. For the house which is given at concessional rate, first determine the value as if it is provided without any charge and then value aligned at deduct this. ठीक है? Right. Now this is apply CIA and all. I think you can skip because this is the first year. Very nice question. No population given, you take 10%. Now, if employer has given loan to employee 1 lakh rupees at 5%, compare it with the SBI's rate on the first day. Say it's 8%. So 3% is taxable. Interest on loan is exempt up to 20,000, uske beyond taxable. Movable asset, if it is transferred to employee. If the movable asset is used by employee, then 10% of the actual cost other than laptop, motor car, computer. Hmm? And if the employer transfers the movable asset, then take the actual cost of the asset. Employer has purchased a bike, Harley Davidson. So Harley Davidson, 3 lakh rupees. Now 10% of the actual cost for each completed years. Ignore fraction. Employer used it for 3 years and 3 months. Ignore 3 months. 10% for each year. So 30,000 into 10% matlab 30,000 or 3 years, 90,000. So what is the day I am company, I purchased it for 3 lakh. 3 years to company has used it. 90,000, 10% depreciation. Now the day I gave it to you employee, what's the value? 210. From employee, I have charged 10,000. Amount of consideration, do it logically. Koi format magap nahi karna hai. Even in capital gain, we have done like this only. What's the taxable perquisite? I'm repeating, if employer's asset is used by employee, 10% of the original cost, except laptop and computer, which is exempt. Motor car ke liye abhi hum table करेंगे. And other asset, if it is transferred, you have to take depreciation for each completed year, 10%, motor car 20% WDV, computer 50% WDV, other assets. These are not the rate of depreciation as per block of asset method. These are the rates only for salary chapter. I know they should have made as per block of asset, but ab theek hai. Motor car 20% WDV, computer 50% WDV, other assets 10% SLM. ठीक है? And then you can work out. Yes, ESOP, I'll directly take one example. Employer has given 1,000 shares of 300 fair market value to employee at and under ESOP, employee stock option plan at 200. So many times asked in employee. So employees getting benefit of 1 lakh rupees. It's exempt. Sorry. It's taxable. ESOP. Employer is giving in kind or cash. Waterfall. Employer से employee को 1,000 share पे 100 per share. Very well taxable as perquisite. Now the question is, when employee will sell the shares, though he has paid 200, but on 100 he has paid tax. So 300 will be allowed. Clear? Other than this, employer giving to employee gardener, sweeper, watchman, cook, electricity bill, credit card bill, सब taxable है. Education 1,000 तक exempt है, free meals 50 तक exempt है. Gift, employer giving gift to employees exempt up to 5,000. Beyond that, 50,000 is the limit in GST. Here it is 5,000. Beyond that, if they give 8,000 gift, completely taxable. Don't take the difference. Credit card taxable, superannuation fund देखा है. Tax paid by employer on the non-monetary benefit. Who is paying the tax? Employer. This is disallowed in the hands of the employer only in the business head. Employer, you are giving benefits to employee, and on that you are paying tax. Employer, your own income tax is not allowed. Why you are paying employees income tax? Not allowed. So employer paying tax of employee is disallowed in the hands of the employer only, taxable in the hands of the employer only. So in the hands of the employee it will be exempt. Problems, I would really love to check. You please go for practice batch, या फिर you go for this book. Very nice level of the problems covering allowances, PF, perquisites with working note are there. Abhi I'll tell you, past exam questions are also there. One time only they have asked this question. Compare and tell Khanna whether he can go for HRA or RFA. So in both the cases, what will be the income you calculate and tax? But that's not the answer. Answer is inflow and outflow. So just check this. One-liner questions. This is past exam question. Motor car. See, laptop and computer used by employee from employer, it is exempt. Motor car is taxable. Only two things are left now. Motor car and pay grade system. तो दोनों हम करेंगे. Car employer की, expenses employer. Car is employers, expenses employer, and official use तो it's not a perquisite only. Personal use. Okay. Full personal. So employer's cars, so wear and tear, depreciation as well as expenses, all will be perquisite. Partly here and there, this table is only asked. Car employer, expenses employer, right? Then partly used here and there. If the CC capacity is up to 1.6 liter, 1800 per month. Above 1.6, 2400 per month. If driver is also provided, 900 for the driver or chauffeur. If the car's capacity is up to 1.6, 1800. Above 1.6, 2400. Clear to all of you? Chalo. Now, car is employers, but expenses are employee. Employees using partly here and there. So official purpose you are using, no problem. Personal purpose, car is employers. Employee, you are only doing your petrol and repairing and insurance and all expense. So if it is used completely personal, only wear and tear, because car is employers. So depreciation you will have to bear. Now, partly here and partly there. Here it is 1800 and 2400. Here 600 and 900. Driver 900. Now this is one which you have to learn. 600 and 900 driver. Now, car employee key and expenses by employer. So why employers all expense will be because it's partly used here and there, no? So amount of expenditure incurred by employer minus this depending on the capacity. I'll do it in one sum, so it will be very clear. But did you get one? Car, if it is employer, तो ही 1800 and 2000 दोनों employer higher rate 18 and 2000. Car employer and expense employee 600. Car only employee and only expenses employer, expenses minus this. Clear? Right. For this one sum I have given, ये देखो बेटा. Motor car running expenses are fully paid by employer. Motor car is owned also by company. Then what will be taxable directly? 2400. See, either 2400 or 1800. So here the CC capacity is more than 1.6. So 2400 per month into 12. 1800 into 12. If it was less than 1.6. Clear? Car bhi employer ki hai. Expense bhi employer and it is used for both purposes. Other all the things are easy. This problem is there in study material. Now I have solved it with both option, default and normal. Don't solve like this in exam. This is for comparative कि ऐसे पूछे तो ऐसे करना है, ऐसे पूछे तो ऐसे करना है. Okay. Now if the motor car is owned by employer and expenses are paid by employee, then to 900, 600 and 900, 1800 and 2500. Okay. Now if motor car is owned by employee and expenses done by employer 60,000, then 60,000 minus the first one, what you have calculated. See, because car is owned by employee, only expenses are paid by employer and it is used for both purpose. Why all expenses should be my perquisite? No, I should get some deduction. Take your time, check these three quality good example. This problem with same name Harish is there in the study material. You can do it. And now last part we are doing is pay scale system. Recently asked in MCQ. Pay grade, pay scale grading system. X joined in 2023 with 50,000-550. This means what? That every year 500 rupees your salary will increase. But you have joined in January 23. So it will increase in January 24. It will be 50,500. So suppose we want what's the salary of April 2024 to 25. So January 24 to December 24, 5,500. Nines. Now 2025. It will be 50,000 into 3. Is this clear to all of you? I'll do one more problem. ये देखो. Mr. X joined in default tax regime. He was appointed in January 24 with 20,000, 1,000, 30,000. 20,000, 1,000, 30,000. January 2024. So April to December 20,000. Then January 25, 12 months के बाद the salary will go up to 21,000. So 9 months the salary is 20,000. Then it is 21,000. ठीक है? The rest all is same. Keyman insurance policy, if amount is received by employee, it will be taxable as salary. Now this I want all of you to check. ये देखो बहुत अच्छा टेबल है. Leave travel concession is allowed in the normal tax regime. It's not allowed there. HRA allowed, not allowed. Other allowances 100 and 300 allowed in if you opt out of default tax regime, disallowed. Daily allowances here exempt, here they are taxable, no exemption. If you file your return in default tax regime, MPs, MLAs allowance, daily allowance सब taxable होगा. Minor child you get 1,500 exemption per child, here you don't get that. So it's all negative only in default tax. Leave, salary, gratuity, retirement benefit exemptions are allowed in both. Allowed in both. Transport allowance, handicapped is allowed in both. If you spend any allowance for official purpose, both. Daily allowance, both. बस खत्म. और एक था ना, oops, missed out. हाँ है ना, दिव्यांग एम्प्लॉय, इसी को बोलते हैं handicapped. So what is out of the gist? What is allowed in both? Retirement benefit allowed, transport allowance, official purpose and daily allowance. Khatam. Standard deduction here 50, here 70. Lot of efforts I have taken in depth analysis and then I have made this table. PT and entertainment allowance deduction is allowed here, here it is not allowed. 50 per meal exempt, यहाँ वो सब नहीं है. Perquisites are taxable. All perquisites are fully taxable here. Like here you get the benefit, no? 50 per meal and all. Okay, right. Last part now of the salary, relief under salary. It's a beautiful concept, never asked, but like last exam, out of nowhere, they have asked lump sale. Earlier it was asked in final, abhi they have asked. Like that, if they ask, it's very easy. Understand the logic now. Right now it's 24, 25. I received increase in salary with retrospective effect. Last 2-3 years increase in the salary is dumped now. This year's salary plus 2-3 years, I to went from 10% and 30% slab. So I'm not saying that I will not pay the tax on arrears of salary. But if this arrears of salary was received in that year, 15, 16, 18, how much additional tax I would have paid? Say 5,000. But because this is all burdened now and I have gone in 30% tax, I'm ending up paying 12,000 tax. So 12,000 is the additional tax now. 5,000 is the additional tax there. Different 7,000 I want relief under salary under section 89(1) granted ones. Yes, this concept looks like marginal relief, but thoda sa alag hai. And yeah, all the taxes you have to calculate with the, what do you call it? With cess and surcharge and all. Some format is given जिसको learn करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Yeah, earlier years tax they will give. See, look at this problem. Chehek is having salary income now 552. I have written down because this is computed salary. arrears of salary 45,000. ठीक है. And assessed income in that year is 70,000. And 25/3 में PPF में they have put 50,000. Okay. So this year the salary income is 52 PPF. So that salary plus 45,000. What is this? Take your time. 552 is salary minus deduction 5,02,000 and add arrears. So with arrears, what is my salary? 547. Without 45 arrears, what is it? 5. Now, how much is excess income? 45. What is tax on step 1? Because I have received 45,000 extra, what is my tax now along with ESES and all? Huh? If it is earlier years, health and education cess was 3%. They'll give you the tax rates. So this is tax on 547. This is tax without arrears. How much extra tax I'm burdened because I receive old arrears now? 9360. Okay. This arrears is related to 2021 when my actual income was 70,000 and with arrears 150. So suppose in that year only with 70 I would have received arrears. I'm ready to pay the tax on 1,15,000 as per that year's rate 115 1545. Are you getting? 70,000 pay no tax because first 1 lakh it was exempt then. The gist is, had this what I'm ready to pay the tax on 45,000 arrears, but had I received that year, how much I would have paid extra tax? 1545. Now I am receiving how much I am paying extra tax. Today it is 9360 tax. That time it was 1545. I'm ready to pay that tax. I want a relief of 7815. Relief. But relief has to be from your first tax. Because right now तो your income with arrears is 547 और उसके ऊपर tax 22,776. ठीक है. And right now the tax payable is this. I'm repeating, if this was taxable there like that here also you see. ये देखो. Tax on 860 is this, 760 is this. How much extra tax I am paying? Because all arrears. Now here 3 years arrears are there. If they would have received that time, I would have paid extra tax this. I'm ready to pay that. But I want a relief. But relief should be from the first one. Relief should be from the first one. Okay. Again, I have given all the definition like for entertainment allowance, it's 20% of basic. Gratuity Act, if you are covered under Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, basic and DA. All retirement benefits, HRA, recognized provident fund, basic DA commission. RFA, basic DA commission, bonus, taxable allowance, excluding perquisites and all. And all the retirement benefits also, I have again printed combined for your revision. This much effort is done in making this compiler so that salary, I know there are some limits to be learned, right? Okay. Good, almost like 1.5 hours से ज़्यादा हो गया. Hope you all have followed this. Don't be confused in liking, sharing it with 5 of your friends in Telegram group, and comment below the video if you feel lot of efforts have been made in making the compiler, in giving you this one-shot revision video. It's applicable for all 25 inter-final. Final students, CMA final, so many are referring these one-shot because after you write the exam of 2 years gap, no, this happens. So this will be very helpful. Share it with your final friends also. That's all. Check up all the other one-shot revision videos. And next coming up is old versus new regime, deduction and TDS, TCS. This is pending. AMT also. I'll not leave any small part also. We will surely do it, right? That's all for today. Thank you so much. Bye bye, all of you. Bye.